Oh, well. What's going down, man? Welcome into Sports with Balls. I am your host, Jeff Michael. Once again, on a back-to-back night, we are here on a Thursday night at Christian's Tailgate. 2,000 Bagby here in Houston, Texas. Could not be more fired up about tonight's show. A lot going on, including my favorite NFL player, Baker Mayfield. This guy, man, I swear he cannot stay out of his own way. But we're going to get into some Baker Mayfield stuff, man. A couple of football things going down. Look, the upcoming draft. It's going to be interesting, and I know there's only a few quarterbacks that are really high profile in this draft, but the three to five quarterbacks that are in this draft, it's going to be really, really interesting where they land, and I can't wait to get into that with you guys. But man, again, welcome into Sports with Balls. I am your host, Jeff Michael. Lauren Leal will be back next week. Also, Mike will be back probably in about a month or so. He's out of town, so we'll get with him when he gets back. I know Chewy's over here at the bar. What's going down, Chewy? Good to see you as always. Again, down here at Christian's Tailgate, man. I got to thank a couple people before we get going. Number one, attorney Brian White. Look, if you're injured for any reason, need a real attorney with real results, call attorney Brian White. Best phone number in the business, 713-500-5000. 713-500-5000. Also, Corey Fitz, my man, 832-521-3001, fitzroofing.com. The storms have been crazy around Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee. Anywhere in there, call Fitz, man. He's the man. 832-521-3001 or fitzroofing.com, man. Before we get started on some sports stuff, I did see an interesting thing today that kind of blew my mind, is that Elon Musk going to buy Twitter. Y'all see this? $46 billion. Look, I don't know who owns Twitter. Mr. Tweet, Mr. Twitter. No idea who owns Twitter. In fact, I think it's owned by a bunch of different people, but $46 billion. And let's not let's not get it twisted. He's still worth $200 billion, even if he buys Twitter for that. But I'm here to tell you right now, sold. I'm sold. Like, I'm out. See you later. I don't care how much. I don't care if I own 10%. $46 billion. You can just call that. I'm out. See you later. I don't know why he wants to buy Twitter. I can't figure it out for the life of me. That being said, this is Sports with Balls, and we are not political on this show at all. So it's got me baffled as why he wants to buy Twitter. But hey, look, that's neither here nor there. I just thought that was interesting news, man. Now, money. There's such a gap right now in life in general between these people that are billionaires and just, the lonely old people over here doing a podcast. It's just unbelievable, man. $46 billion. I need to come up with something like Twitter, I guess, man. Holy crap. But I digress. Welcome into Sports with Balls. Let's get going on some sports. That is why we are here. This next topic got me absolutely up in arms, man. I was on the Baker Mayfield bus. I was on his side. He's had 4 different coaches, 3 different offensive coordinators, the franchise in shambles, people threatening his wife, threatening him, just everything in general that has to come with Baker Mayfield and Cleveland. Cleveland is a very, very rough place to play. Cleveland, let me tell you something. He's like the winningest quarterback you've had in there since you came back into the league in 1999? He's the winningest Cleveland Brown quarterback, and he won a game in the playoffs for you. And they are throwing this dude in under the bus, run over twice. And this is why I was on Baker's side. I think Baker Mayfield is a decent quarterback. And I heard this today, and this was a very, very interesting quote, that Baker Mayfield is a bridge quarterback. He's not a franchise quarterback. He's a bridge quarterback. And I was like, whoa, that makes a lot of sense when you're going after a quarterback in the draft, somebody that, maybe I don't want to say tutelage because, God, Baker's attitude sucks, and I'm about to get into that here in a minute. But a bridge quarterback is almost exactly the way that I would perceive it. He's a bridge quarterback. He's not really a franchise quarterback. Who are you going to take before Baker? Probably everybody. He's lower half, obviously, in the NFL in quarterbacks, but he shoots himself in the foot a lot, man. And his quote for today, I went on a podcast, is on his situation with the Browns via the Yaniva No podcast. Via Yaniva No podcast. Anyways, I feel disrespected 100% because I was told one thing and they completely did the other. I've had 4 different coaches in 4 years. That's one thing he said, right? And we all know that. We get it. Like, we completely understand that he's had a rough go at it. You know, I mean, come on. Who hasn't in Cleveland? Cleveland is a terrible franchise run absolutely bonkers. And now you've got Deshaun Watson in there, and it seems like Cleveland's already turned on him. They've got billboards taken out, signs taken up. They gave him $230 million guaranteed. Like, wow, that is a lot of money coming off of Baker Mayfield. And I digress in going into Baker. He feels disrespected. All right. And here's what he says basically in this podcast, that the next team that he joins, he's not changing. He's not changing at all. He's going to be him. He doesn't care about the coaches. He doesn't care about the fans. He doesn't care about anything. He's going to be him. That's not going to work out for you. The main problem Baker Mayfield has is that he is him. Remember when he was flicking off Kansas? And when OU was playing Kansas, he was flicking off Kansas on the sideline, and he's grabbing his groin and the end zone and doing all these antics. Baker Mayfield's problem is Baker Mayfield. It's not the coaches. It's not the system. It's not this. I mean, look, dude, he's got unbelievable running backs behind him, and he did go win a playoff game. His attitude is terrible. He's had issues with the trainers. He's had issues with the front office. He's had issues with his head coaches. Eventually, you have to get rid of the common denominator, correct? And the common denominator in Baker Mayfield's situations is always Baker Mayfield. Screw the 4 coaches. I was on his side for a while until he came out and said all this, and that he's not changing. He's not going to be a team player. He's out for Baker Mayfield now. I don't know if that's going to help him at all in this situation. I just he says, I'd be lying to you if I didn't say that I got caught up in all the negativity and stuff during the last year, and I was booed during a 13-10 home win over then the winless Detroit Lions on November 21st. I was trying to be tough and fight through it, but then physically I wasn't capable of doing what I normally could. When I wasn't able on the field, that's when it really started to go downhill. I get it that he was injured. I totally understand he was injured, but the way he addressed the fans and another quote out of this thing today was saying, what if I went into their cubicle and started yelling at them at their office? Look, Baker, wrong thing to say. I think everybody gets your point. But that's the wrong thing to say, man. You can't tell everybody in Cleveland that they work in a cubicle and you're going to go yell at them. You got to be smarter than that, man. Baker Mayfield's problem is Baker Mayfield. I mean, plain and simple. There's no other way around it. Baker has to be a better person, a better team player. There's no doubt that he has quarterback ability. And again, I use that term like I said earlier. I think Baker Mayfield is a bridge quarterback. I don't think he's a franchise quarterback. I think he's a bridge quarterback, and he'll do well, helping a franchise out for 2 or 3 years while they get their franchise quarterback. And if that's what he's going to be and he's serviceable at that, man, go for it. Do that. But don't talk crap about your fans. Don't talk crap about the ownership and start throwing people under buses, Baker. It's like you don't get the NFL. You're supposed to come in here and just be the man and run over the league. No, man, there's people that are better than you. There's people that are better than you, Baker, and you have to be better at the PR stuff when it comes to being a quarterback for a franchise. You have to. You can't say that you're the man and you're the man, because I'm here to tell you, man, last year's season, TD to interceptions, 17-13, ranked 26th in the NFL. Completion percentage, 60.5, 27th in the NFL. Total QBR, 35, 27th in the NFL. I understand he was hurt, man. I totally get that he was hurt. But PR stuff, Those are numbers. That's your numbers. That's your worth. You're hurt. Sorry, man. Like you cannot go after the Cleveland fan base, man. You cannot do it. It's detrimental to you. It's detrimental to what you're trying to accomplish. And I guess the best part of that interview was that he had a dog right next to him in the interview. And I mean, this dog was laid out, bro. Laid out. Like, I mean, just all four paws in the air. It was absolutely hysterical. And I guess that if you're going to fall in love with Baker Mayfield, you'd be a dog lover, and I guess you like him now. Because that was the best part of the interview. Otherwise, he shot himself in the foot. Let me know, man. You guys leave your comments on where you think. Thank you all for joining in on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, all the live sites we're on. Follow us on Sports with Balls, any social media outlet, and obviously the podcast. It'll all be up tomorrow. Yeah, I just Baker Mayfield, man. I think he had a shot to go play in Seattle. I think he had a shot to play in Indianapolis before the Matt Ryan deal. As of now, I don't see Matt Ryan playing anywhere. I don't. In fact, I think I've said this before. Why would Cleveland not just hold on to him? Which I don't think this is Baker can refuse to play, obviously, but Deshaun Watson's going to get suspended. Now, that being said, we did hear news about Watson this week saying, well, the 22 cases are now not even going to be tried until next year or late this year. So he might not be suspended at all during the coming season, which kind of puts that Baker Mayfield thing in play. My idea was that Deshaun Watson's going to get suspended at some point. So just keep Baker on for the 6 to 8 games that he's suspended. There you go. You problem solved, and get rid of him next year. Let Baker get healthy, because right now Baker had 3 to 4 injuries last year that I can't say right now that Baker Mayfield's 100% healthy. Do you think he is? I don't think so. I think Baker has a lot to prove, especially with that shoulder. We'll see what happens with the Baker Mayfield situation, but he definitely didn't make a strong case for himself today at all with the interview that he did. Absolutely ridiculous, throwing fans and ownership and coaches under the bus, man. Thomas, you noticed his dog? Yeah, that dog was hysterical. That was the best part of the whole thing. Absolutely hysterical, man. But let me know where you think Baker would fit in, because it's a very interesting thing. And for him to sit there and say, I'm not going to change, and it's all about Baker Mayfield now. Well, I mean, if you're an ownership and you're a head coach, and you saw that interview or listened to at least the highlights of it, you are not excited about Baker coming to your team and contributing as your number one quarterback. Not at all. And hence why I said I heard today an incredible verb for he's a bridge quarterback. He is a bridge quarterback for where you're trying to go, and he's probably great at it, right? I would say he's the next Ryan Fitzpatrick, maybe, somewhere along that lines. And if Ryan Fitzpatrick can make if Ryan Fitzpatrick can make a job and a living and do great at it, now granted his attitude and Baker's attitude are completely different, well then Baker Mayfield should accept his role in what he does, make a killer living in the NFL, jump from team to team, however you want to do it, and move on. That way you don't have to stay in one fan base and like Cleveland or however, and you're yelling at these fan bases and they're booing you. The reason Cleveland was booing you, Baker, was because they thought you were the franchise quarterback and you ended up not being the franchise quarterback. Now, Deshaun Watson from the Texans is their franchise quarterback, and he's being booed before he even gets on the field. Like, what's a worse place to go to? Boston, Philly, or Cleveland? I don't know. It just, man, that Cleveland fan base. Now, I'm not saying they didn't have a good reason to boo Baker Mayfield. Not saying that at all. Baker Mayfield was absolutely terrible. And I think that if he would have just held back some of the stuff he said, like in his press conferences, just him and the media didn't get along. And if he was just held back and look, man, play the victim, bro. Go into your press conferences with your shoulders wrapped up and your knees wrapped up, limping in there on canes. I don't care what you have to do. Play the victim. That way the crowd doesn't feel so like hyped up against you. And he didn't do that. He completely went against the grain. And he said that today or yesterday in his not press conference, but podcast, that he was he's going to beat Baker Mayfield and basically F everybody else. Well, sorry to say, buddy, that's probably not going to get you a job, man. Golly. Baker Mayfield. I don't know where he ends up, but I wish nothing but the best for him. Like I said, I was on his side. I just can't do it anymore, man. But wow, great way to open the show, man. Sports with Balls over here at Christian's Tailgate, 2000 Bagby. Here in Houston, Texas, man, having a blast. The place is already getting pretty busy. It is a Thursday night over here. Chewy's sitting at the bar. They got drink specials, their food, the #1 hamburger in Houston, Texas. For real. Unbelievable. And Houston has some incredible food. So you guys get down here. There's 5 different locations around the city. Christian's Tailgate. Here we go. Oh, by the way, I'm going to mention it again. If you got, hold on, let me pull up the exact amount of money because I saw it. If you got $43 billion laying around, you can do a cash takeover of Twitter. Now, there's a reason that, that Elon Musk did this. So apparently he tried to buy a couple of, I don't know, he tried to buy some stocks in last week. And it turns out that was illegal. So today he tried to buy all of Twitter. It must be nice to just be like, you know what? I don't feel like messing with it, so I'm just going to buy. How do you buy Twitter? That's insane. You just buy Twitter? Good job. I mean, dude, I love Elon Musk. I love the way he thinks. I love all of his stuff. I love his cars. That truck didn't do so well, I don't think. Anybody know what happened to that truck? Joe Applewhite, 713-291-5270. Joe Applewhite Realty. Whatever he touches turns to sold. That man can sell anything, bro. Your house, he'll get you in a house. I mean, unbelievable what that guy does around Texas. Unbelievable. Incredible realtor. Joe Applewhite Realty, 713-291-5270. All right, on to the next subject, man. Enough about Baker Mayfield. From one crazy dude to another crazy dude. Check this story out, man. Floyd Mayweather has offered anybody to take Antonio Brown. This is a true story and absolutely insane. $20 million if you will take Antonio Brown. And here's the bet. If he doesn't screw up, you pay him the $20 million. If he does screw up, Floyd Mayweather pays you the $20 million. Let me tell you that again. And this is a true story. Floyd Mayweather has offered, this is it. And so he believes Antonio Brown deserves another shot in the NFL, right? And on the pivot, he says he's offering anybody. All right. He thinks, all right, here's the quote. I think AB's really misunderstood. He just wants to be treated fair, Mayweather says. And this is for any team that's watching right now. We'll make them a deal. If they sign Antonio Brown and Brown goes through the whole season, no problems at all, then they got to give us $20 million. But if he messes up, then we got to give them $20 million. So if any team wants to match that, reach out to us. Okay. I take that deal right now because Antonio Brown will mess up 100%. It's not even a question. And then you're going to get $20 million from Floyd Mayweather, or you may not. I mean, according to Jake Paul or whatever, he doesn't pay his bets. Who knows? But what I'm saying is that Floyd Mayweather and Antonio Brown are making a deal with any NFL team if they'll take Antonio Brown. This is $20 million in the bank. Easy. This is easy. The problem that you would have to deal with is that you have Antonio Brown on your team. That's the issue. That is the issue. I don't know if the locker room with him, how he just completely dismantles teams and coaches and great players. I mean, if it wasn't Tom Brady on the Bucs, that team might have gone a little worse. Who knows what would have happened? But Floyd Mayweather offering up $20 million to any team that'll take Antonio Brown. If Antonio Brown doesn't screw up, they owe him $20 million. If Antonio, and I don't know what screw up means. I mean, obviously the contract would be 500 pages long, but if he does screw up, Floyd Mayweather will pay that NFL team $20 million. Y'all think this is funny, but I've seen the NFL do dumber stuff, man. Way dumber stuff and pay people way more money for doing stupid stuff. Like 100%. I know plenty of teams. The Green Bay Packers need Antonio Brown. The Houston Texans need Antonio Brown. There's a couple of really good teams in the NFC that need another receiver. Hell, the Bucks could actually use Antonio Brown again. I mean, not that he would go back there. I'm just saying. This is a hell of a deal. I'm jumping all over it. If I'm somebody, I'm like, yep, and I lay out a 500-page contract where Antonio Brown can't even walk next to the sidewalk or get off the sidewalk without paying me $20 million. Boom. And he's going to play what? What do y'all give him? 6-7 games? Maybe? What's the over-under? Chewy, what's the over-under for Antonio Brown screwing up? How many games? 5? 5 games? He said 6 games. That's what somewhere around there. Antonio Brown's gonna fuck up, and Floyd Mayweather has to write you a check for $20 million. That's great. So you'll probably get 4 or 5 touchdowns at Antonio Brown. You'll get 400 or 500 yards and $20 million. Sign me up. From Floyd Mayweather. That's absolutely insane, bro. Floyd Mayweather is now Antonio Brown's agent. Hell, just send him to the Browns. Just go to the Browns. Why not? I mean, just like this is already an absolute disaster. Thomas Kim, I hear you. Man. The NFL draft is coming up, man. Speaking of wide receivers and a bunch of things that the NFL, a bunch of things that a lot of players need or a lot of teams need, right? So I'm going to run through real quick. Kiper, I do respect Mel Kiper. I do. He's made some great. It's hard to predict these things, obviously, but he does know where these guys will fall within 2 to 3 spots, like he does. So right now, Aiden Hutchinson, the defensive end from Michigan, goes number 1 to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, that being said, there's rumors that Carolina is trying to trade up. There's rumors that the Dallas Cowboys are trying to trade up. There's rumors that the Texans are trying to trade some of theirs. Like, I mentioned this at the top of the show, that this draft is not stacked like we've seen in previous drafts. But as far as movement is concerned, you've already seen some crazy things go down. Crazy draft picks go down. I think that you're going to see this draft go absolutely – it's going to be entertaining. Going to be absolutely entertaining. I cannot wait for this, man. So right now you got Aiden Hutchinson going number 1, Jacksonville Jaguars, defensive end, right? Number 2, Sauce Gardner, cornerback from Cincinnati, who hasn't allowed a touchdown in 3 years in Cincinnati, bro. Sauce Gardner. I love this guy. Going to the Detroit Lions, who, by the way, lost a ton of close games. Still believe in the head coach over there. I don't know about Jared Goff. I don't know. All right, here's a question for you since you're bringing that up. Would you rather have Jared Goff or Baker Mayfield? That's a great question. That is a great question. And I'll try. Just let me hear your responses, man. Go to Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. Let me know what you think on would you rather have Jared Goff or Baker Mayfield as the quarterback of the Detroit Lions. They're going to go after Sauce Gardner, the quarterback of Cincinnati. Great move. Great move. Houston Texans had the 3rd pick, and right now it looks like they're going after Trayvon Walker, the defensive end from Georgia. That's not set. This is just Kiper's picks, and I don't think that I agree with that. I'd be surprised that Texans may move that. I don't know, because there's going to be some people that want quarterbacks. There's 3 quarterbacks in this draft that look decent, man. They don't look bad at all. New York Jets have number 4. Kayvon Thibodeau, defensive end from Oregon, looks where he's going. And you notice we're at number 5 now. New York Giants, no quarterbacks. Ikem Ekwonu from the offensive tackle from NC State. 6, Carolina Panthers, Malik Williams. He's the first one that looks to be off the board at number 6. So here's my thing. Carolina's looking to move up. They might trade with Houston Texans or Carolina is trying to move up big. So I'd be shocked. They're going to get a quarterback. And if they want Malik Williams, that's going to be a fun. I just think the first 15, 20 picks of the draft are going to be, and look, nobody really watches that much after the first round, but there's going to be a lot of movement, man. Malik Willis looks to be the first quarterback off at number 6 to the Carolina Panthers. New York Giants have the number 7. It looks like they're going defense. Atlanta Falcons, first wide receiver to go off, Garrett Williams, a wide receiver from Ohio State. Looks to be the first wide receiver off the board. Seattle Seahawks, Evan Neal, offensive tackle. Number 10, the New York Jets, wide receiver out of USC, Drake London. Washington Commanders have number 11. They're going safety. Minnesota Vikings look to pick Derek Singley Jr., cornerback from LSU. And then the Texans have number 13. They go offensive tackle. And then you've got cornerback, wide receiver, just offensive tackle. Like, man, you don't have – this is Mel Kiper's, all right? The next quarterback that's supposed to go off the draft in Mel Kiper's list is number 20. Number 20 to the Pittsburgh Steelers, Kenny Pickett. Wow. I mean, and then I don't see another quarterback in the first round. Insane. Insane. But again, we'll see what happens. I just, this is going to be a fun, entertaining draft. There's a lot of offensive line, a lot of defensive line, a lot of secondary players. The skill players in this draft just don't look to be that high up. And that's why I think there's going to be a ton of movement. You're going to see a lot of future draft picks like next year, like 223, 2024. Those type picks are all going to move, man. I see that happening. And it's going to be fun to watch. This will be a fun draft to watch. Not necessarily for talent-wise, because like I said, a lot of offensive tackles, a lot of defensive line, a lot of secondaries. And there's 3 quarterbacks that are really, really good. Who knows where they're going to go? And then there's a few wide receivers. And then everything else is big guys and you know, the plug-in players, which are vitally important, especially to teams like the Texans or if you have a rookie quarterback like the Jacksonville Jaguars trying to protect somebody, Seattle trying to rebuild their team. This is an important draft. I see a lot of things going on, but we'll see what happens. All right, man, let's move on to our next subject. We'll get off the NFL, man, and on to Major League Baseball, where something very interesting is happening in MLB, and I absolutely love it. San Francisco Giants seem to be running up the score on people. They got in trouble for it yesterday, and the unwritten rule is, you know, if you're up by X amount of runs and the game's out of hand with 10 runs, or let's just say 7 runs, and you're in the 7th inning, don't run up the score. Well, the Giants are basically saying, F you. We're going to run up the score because that's the way we play baseball. And I absolutely love it. I could not agree more. Make these other teams play baseball. Hit as many hits as you can get. Make them use as many pitchers because there's still other games down the series, down the line. Play baseball like you're supposed to play baseball. Don't not do it. That's terrible. Why would you hold back? And I absolutely love what San Francisco's doing. And I love their response to people that are like, oh, you're not supposed to do that. They are not holding back. They are supposed to do it, and they're doing it. That's the way they play baseball, and that's the way they're going to do it. I love it. Welcome, y'all. They're just joining in to Sports with Balls Live. I am Jeff Michael. Lauren Leal is out. She'll be back next week. So is Mike Scarborough. He'll be back in about 3 weeks. He is under the weather. We'll see when he gets back what's going on. Highlights of yesterday, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. bombs 3 home runs against the Yankees yesterday. Whoa. And 2 of them against Garrett Cole. Woo! That is big time. That is huge. And I told y'all yesterday on the show, watch out for Toronto. They might even do a midseason trade for a pitcher before the trade deadline if they're in a position to make a run at it. Barring injuries, Toronto's tough. Really tough baseball team. Really good. Bo Bichette, George Springer, who was hurt last year, and obviously Vlad Guerrero Jr. Here's a question for you. Speaking of, because after Vlad hit these 3 home runs, people are going off about how Vladimir is the best player in baseball. All right. And that Mike Trout's pretty much faded out. And look, I get it. Mike Trout's been injured. I haven't been the biggest Mike Trout supporter in the last few years because he has been injured. But Mike Trout's an incredible baseball player. But if you're going to start a team Are you starting your team with Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, or Vladimir Guerrero Jr.? That's your options. Who are you starting your team with? Ohtani, obviously last year's MVP. Trout been the MVP. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. early season vote for MVP after yesterday. Man, I got to tell you, I'm going with Ohtani. He was throwing 99-100 in his first start versus the Astros. Looks fantastic. I get his bat's not there yet, but I don't think I would take Trout. And this is not in their prime. This is currently. Would you take Trout currently, Ohtani currently, or Vladimir Guerrero Jr. currently? So we're gonna find out what your answers are, man. go to Sports with Balls on all social media networks, man, and check them out, or just post your answer, and I'll let you know what we come up with. NBA playoffs are set. Are you guys ready for this exciting 2.5-month NBA playoffs? Oh boy, I am. Couldn't be more excited. I am completely kidding. Hawks beat the Hornets yesterday, 132-103. Michael Jordan got and his team knocked out, and the Pelicans bested the San Antonio Spurs 113-132. So here are your matchups. Friday, April 15th, we'll kick it off. Hawks and Cavaliers in a spectacular series, I guess. And the Clippers and the Pelicans. Like that's your opening round series, dude. The Clippers and Pelicans and the Hawks and the Cavs, man. All right, let's move on to Saturday. Now, there's some interesting matchups in here. This is where it gets a little fun. The Jazz and the Mavericks. That looks to be a fun series if Luka is healthy enough to play. He's got a strained calf. Man, if that lingers on, Jazz take that series for sure. Timberwolves and the Grizzlies. Minnesota's been playing great as of late, but if Ja Morant's healthy, if he's not healthy, it's almost like the Grizzlies play better if he's not. So Timberwolves and Grizzlies should be a decent series. The Toronto Raptors and the Philadelphia 76ers tip off at 5 on Saturday. Nuggets and the Warriors. Those are pretty interesting series. But again, they're going to last 10 to 14 days. So it's hard for me to pay attention. Nets and the Celtics with the probably the most intriguing series, first round matchups. That's a pretty intriguing series. And especially for me if Ben Simmons plays, because I told y'all they don't need Ben Simmons to play a lot. They don't need him to score. They have all the scores to get Kyrie and Kevin Durant. If Ben Simmons plays in those games, and there's rumors he might come back in game 4, that would be unreal. Thomas Kim says LaMelo Ball was caught on tape smoking a blunt. Yeah, I know. And then J.R. Smith came out yesterday and said they were all getting high during the bubble. Man, I don't care about weed. Smoke all the weed you want. Is that a bad look for the NBA? Smoking weed? Is that a secret? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think everybody knows that NBA players smoke weed. I wouldn't be surprised if pretty soon there'd be CBD places that advertise on the jerseys. Just saying, they smoke weed. They like to smoke weed. Bulls and Bucks Saturday. I don't know about that series yet. I'll just wait till Monday, man. I'll just wait till Monday to give y'all, I understand it's kicking off this weekend, but I just haven't watched. I told y'all from the beginning of the season, man. I don't watch until the playoffs, and now I'm going to watch and maybe get to know some of these guys because during the regular season, it's all a bunch of crap. There's an incredible stat that's out there. And I'll pull it up right now. It's pretty crazy here it is. 5 of the 15 highest paid players this year only played about one season's worth of games combined. 5 of the 15 highest players in the league only played a combined 81 games. Holy crap, dude. And John Wall, for those of y'all that are Houston Rockets fans, John Wall picking up his player option next season for approximately $47 million. Oh, my God. Woo! John Wall is picking up his player option for $47 million. And the Rockets are going to have to unload him somewhere. They're going to have to unload him somewhere. I don't know how or when or where they're going to do it. They're going to have to. Let's get to a couple of people, man. Steven over there at cleanfight.com, man. Go to thecleanathlete.org.org, 281-733-4150, man. Go check out this, man. You've got to go check out this product, man. It's unbelievable. I told you guys about it, and I'm not going to quit raving about it. You spray it on your hands. You spray it on your face. You spray it on your kids' hands and faces. It is all natural. It's what your body makes to defend against the flu, the colds, any viruses, corona, all that stuff. 400 sprays per bottle. It is fantastic. That is thecleanathlete.org. Unbelievable stuff, man. Go check it out. It's got all kinds of great products on there. Steven over there, man. Can't wait to see you this coming up week on the show. You were supposed to be on here today, but I get it. You're flying around. I understand. Fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. We'll get on it next. Also got to think Construction Concepts, man. Changing corporate culture one design at a time. Mark and Josh over there tearing it up. 713-589-2682. That's buildithouston.com. Their team of experts can create or update a space that exceeds your expectations. Man, what else do we need to talk about today? We got the playoffs. We got some baseball. We got the NFL in there. Man, I'm almost ready for the weekend. This ought to be exciting. Oh, we even talked about Elon Musk buying Twitter for $43 billion. Come on, man. Come on. And like I said earlier about the NBA, Ben Simmons could play as early as Game 4 against the Celtics for the Nets. We'll see. We'll see how that goes down, man. We'll see if he can get in there. But let's go over some baseball games tonight before we get out of here, man. I know all of you guys are excited. I think a lot of people have long weekends because kids have off. I know I do. My kids are off school tomorrow and Monday. Bottom of the 6, Cardinals are losing to Brewers 0-5. Good because I have my money on the Brewers. Washington Nationals are losing. Well, tied up to the Pirates. Sweet. They were just losing. Tied up to the Pirates. Bottom of the 3rd, Phillies over the Marlins 1-0 in the 4th. Yankees and Blue Jays in a rain delay. Thank God the Yankees are probably thanking everybody for that. Athletics beat the Devil Rays 6-3. Mariners over the White Sox 5-0. Tonight, Angels and Rangers, Braves at the Padres, Tigers at the Royals, Cubs at Rockies, the Reds at the Los Angeles Dodgers, and what should be an absolute rake. But we'll see how that goes, man. Hey, look, I want to thank everybody for paying attention to me, myself, and I on the show. Got to thank attorney Brian White, 713-500-5000. If you're injured for any reason, give him a call. Corey Fitz over there at Fitz Roofing, 832-521-300-RUN. And, of course, Steven at thecleanathlete.org, man. Get on that website. Go look us up. Get you some product from Steven. It's unbelievable stuff, man. Lauren will be back next week, man. We'll have a packed show on Monday as usual. I am Jeff Michael. This is Sports with Balls. Thank you from Christian's Tailgate. We will see you guys Monday at 6 p.m., y'all. We out of here.